Greetings, social interwebs. Tis I, the Scout of Wrestling, Danny Everbourne here, and today we're bringing you a brand new series. Yes, another brand new series, because it's a brand new YouTube channel. Behind the Uniform. What is that to be exact? Well, very simple. It's essentially the paint on your canvas. It's your expression of creativity, and sometimes even an indication of what type of wrestler you are. And I have plenty of wrestling gear. So, just wanted to give you guys a little insight on some of these different gears, outfits, whatever you want to call them. With the first one, shall we? Whoa! Look at that! I also know magic, because I have my magic mirror badge, am I right? This gear right here, along with all of my other gears, was created by Champ City Gear. Special thank you to George for making literally every single one of my sets and dealing with all of my meticulous ideas and literally everything, and he always nails it. Literally every single time I ask him for gear, he always gets it exactly how I want to get it, as quick as humanly possible and all that. So thank you, Champ City Gears. I design all my gear. Every single set I've ever worn, to every single shirt, every patch, everything was designed by me. Sometimes I'll be driving and I'll think like a certain set that I'll get to later. Sometimes I'll just be sitting at home or somewhere or in the gym or something like that. Or sometimes I'll see a color combination on something else and I'll go, oh man, I wonder what that would look like in a gear set. And I just make it. If you invest in yourself, then it'll invest back in you. I've never been told, hey, you have bad gear. It's essentially when you come out, it's the first thing people see. The first thing they hear is your song, and the first thing they see is your gear. Obviously, the wrestling's important, the talking's important, the promoting's important, all that's important, but this is also important, and it's something that a lot of people, actually, believe it or not, don't look at. This is the Everbourne Crew gear, 100%, one of my favorites. I believe the first time I wore this was in the June edition of Rumble in the Jungle. I wrestled Nick Turner. I do remember this one particularly popping. You know, I've always been a big fan of lighter gears. I love lighter gear, white boots, not black boots. I get it, black boots, it gives you a grittier look, and you know you're not gonna have some killer coming out with, you know, sparkles or whatever, but if your character is a little bit more vibrant, then vibrant gear is the way to go. This gear in particular is based off of, as the shirt says, the Everbourne Crew. Fun fact, this shirt has never been put on Pro Wrestling Tees. I've been asked before if it's on, why I didn't put it on, why I didn't do any of that stuff. I'm gonna be real with you, I just didn't do it. I don't know why, don't ask. The back of the shirt has the same print as the entire gear set. I am a particular fan of the shirt. I've done this already a couple of times. I love the little, can you see it right there? I love the little TV as like the little addition. I'm gonna continue doing that because I just, big particular fan of that stuff. Now, if we move to the hat. I've often been asked why I wear a hat, or, you know, what's the point of the hat? I'm gonna be real with you. It was by accident as well. Let's travel all the way back to the King of Territory 2024, and you will see that I'm wearing a hat. It's actually a Miami Iron Gym hat. That was by accident. I was making my entrance, and I realized, I was like, why do I feel something on my head? And I had the hat on. No one told me to take it off, no one pointed it out. Sometimes I wear a hat too much, as you can tell, and no one told me anything. So when I rewatched it, actually they kind of liked the look. But the one thing I was told by everyone, which was, if you're gonna wear a hat, make one for yourself. Don't wear other hats. I've always liked when wrestlers wear branded stuff of their own. Like, you know, I get shoes and things like that there, but sometimes a wrestler will come out with his own custom shoes, and it's like the coolest thing, because you're like, I wish I could have that, you know, and it's a one-of-one item. And just like that, this is a one-of-one item. Even though we did sell some black ones, and a lot of folks loved them, and, you know, hot commodity, I sold all of them like pretty instantly, and it was pretty nice to see that. This right here is the only blue version ever made. So this hat right here was made by my good friend Gabby, who runs Stitches Miami. She's done all of my embroidery, whether it was for a hat, one of my track jackets. This little thing right here, if you click on it, you can get the link to her socials and all that in case you want some embroidery done, also down in the link below. Next is the knee pads. I need to stress this. Never, ever have knee pads that properly fit me. At least stock knee pads, that is. Every knee pad I've gotten, they're either really tight or really loose. And it's a running gag between me and all the boys at CCW. They just don't fit me right for some reason. I don't know. No matter how many squats I do, no matter how many calf raises I do, it just won't fit me. And it's the most annoying thing ever. I hate genetics. This is bullshit. These are specifically fitted to me along with all my other custom gears because I can't get stock knee pads. And along with that, if you look at the fabric, you'll see that it's a very matte, basic superhero spandex. I believe that's what it's called. A lot similar if you look at, like, for example, the Christopher Reeves Superman, you know, he had a matte look, and I've always liked that look. I understand if sometimes you gotta add a little bit of jazz to it. The white is actually a more vinyl look, but the base, I always tell my gear maker that I want a matte superhero look because I just personally like the way it feels on my body. My first gear set was made out of leather and it didn't fit me right. I mentioned that in my previous videos. Yeah, so this one fits me good. So that's a very important thing, and that's why I always ask specifically for matte. And of course, the last thing are the bikers. If you look right here, you'll see that it says Crew, and it says on the side, it says Everbourne. All my gears always say Everbourne on the side, and it always has the same logo for the most part. I think there's only one or two actually that have a different version of the Everbourne logo. But this is the base standard Everbourne logo. This is like my Nike logo. The two little stripes that also, only time I've ever done this as well, the two stripes. I wanted for the longest time to make that like my Nike logo, but it's not what ended up happening. And then over here on the other side, it says Crew. Normally, this is the logo that changes in all my sets, whether it's one that has the little weight, one that has Skadoosh. For this one, it said Crew. Normally, that logo is the indication of whatever the set is based off of. You can see the designs. To many, it just looks like a bunch of random designs. They represent either a person in the Everbourne Crew or an event in which we experience together as the crew. And this crew is actually, it's a legit crew. I've had other folks come to parties and things like that, and they'll tell me like, oh, you and your group are very, very tight for a friend group, and everyone knows each other. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's family, friends, and all that stuff. We've all been hanging out for so long. It's something that I've always wanted. I've always been a big fan of Ryan Higa and his production crew, and I've always seen people like, you know, all these different YouTubers that always have crews, and I always wanted that growing up. I always thought it was the coolest thing. And now to actually say I have a group, I'm aware that now with the wrestling schedule, and you know, you're always every weekend you're wrestling, and you know, obviously the weekends is when you're gonna go out. I can't go to as many things anymore. And you know, it's tough sometimes, but this is my way of having my group with me when I'm in the ring. I'm not gonna give you all of them because that's the secret of the magic. This right here, it's a mountain. That represents Philmont, 15-day camping trip that I went on where we hiked up a mountain. It's a trip that forever stays with me, and I wanted to add that in here. The gavel, it represents the guy behind the camera right now. I probably should have put a camera. If you look over here and over here, there's a nice little car, and there's a suitcase that represents my parents. The car, my dad has always been involved in the lowrider industry, and he's won many awards and all that stuff. And the suitcase, my mom loves going on trips. So whether she's a vacationer, there's people that love being at home, and there's people that love going out. She's the latter. All right, guys, so that is the first episode of Danny Everbourne Behind the Gear. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, skadoosh the subscribe button, like, comment, and turn on the notifications so that you can tag along on the next adventure. I'll see you guys later.